Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Oxy and this is my team builder and battle for week 9 of season 8 of the National Pokeball League Majors. This week I am playing David, coach of the FC Popplio. So if you did not see my game last week versus Gypsy, you can check that out. I will hopefully leave a link to that down below, or at least a link to the playlist of NPL videos of mine for the season. So if you want, then that'll be there, or you can check out my other videos this season there. So, last week though I did lose to Gypsy, and I'm now 2-6, which you can see in the thumbnail and title. But 2-6 is not good. It is very bad. So, I think I still technically have a shot for playoffs. I don't think I'm mathematically eliminated yet. So that's something. But I'm in a position where I have a very high chance to get relegated now. I probably need to win my last 2 games. If I get really good differential and win one of my last 2 games, I have a chance of not getting relegated, but if I win my last 2 games, I should be good. But if I lose at least one of them, I probably will get relegated. Now, I'm not really certain if I'm going to stay after the season either way, but still, I don't want to be in the spot that gets relegated, because still, that's just kind of not a good way to go out either way. But let's just get into this matchup, and in a game that I can hopefully bounce back from. So, David's got a pretty scary team. He's got Mega Kangaskhan, which is always a threat. You know, it's going to force some rocky helmets, but it's a good mon, but it does not get Seismic Toss. We are banning that, so it's not super broken. It's definitely beatable. I did have it in the March Madness tournament this past year, and I did do well with it, but it's not broken. So I think I have some things for it and I can deal with it. But let me just go into this team. I'll read it off, and of my roster on screen too. So. In order of speed, he has Jolteon, Greninja, Terrakion, Mega King, Venomoth, Cresselia, Skarmory, Decidueye, Primarina, Incineroar, and Donphan. So, pretty cute thing how he's got all 3 of the Kalos starters. I believe that's the region. I forget all the names. Too many regions now. I'm pretty sure that's Kalos though. So he's got all 3 of them, which is pretty nice. They do not have the new abilities because because the season started after. The season started before they were released, so they do not have access to the new abilities, so that's good to know. But his team is pretty scary. He's got things like the Kang. Greninja's just really annoying and tough to prep for and tough to beat. Terrakion, it does have Z-moves. Yeah, Terrakion and Venomoth are his Z-users, which are pretty scary. Venomoth can set up and be terrifying, and that is just not a good time. Terrakion can also set up. It could be Scarf too in this matchup, which is pretty scary, as my team does not have great answers to fighting spam, because I only have 3 fighting resistances, and I'm only bringing 1 this week. So if you just spam in close combat and you Scarf, that could be very scary late game. But let me just get into my team. I'll try to make this pretty quick. So I got Fizdef Gastron here. This is my Kang answer. Now, I'm just max Fizdef, just max to allow me to take hits from Kang as best as possible. Now, this does not even guarantee that I live 2 Jolly returns. He has like a 5% chance to 2-kill me, so I am pretty much guaranteed to live 2 Jolly returns. If he brings something like Double Edge, then he has a higher chance to 2-kill me, but he'll take so much damage from the helmet plus Double Edge, so I'm fine with that. And if he brings like Adamant, then he has a higher chance to 2-kill me, but then he would get outsped by my Arcanine if it's speedy, or by like a Crocodile if I go max speed, which I could for the Venomoth. So I could be Jolly on Croc or Arcanine to outspeed that Venomoth. So I don't know if Adamant King is the best bring on his end, but he does like to bring pretty aggressive speed creep sometimes, so I could see that happening. So the moveset here is pretty interesting. Toxic's nice just to chip things down like Cress, like potentially King, like Primarina. I can heal, which is nice. Whirlpool and Earth Power. Well, the Earth Power is just my stab version. I had Earthquake, but I realized Earth Power does more to everything except for Primarina, pretty much. So Earth Power is better there. Whirlpool is interesting. This is to allow me to trap things like Skarmory or Cress. Now, while I can't really beat Cress, I can at least Whirlpool it, get off some chip and Toxic that, and well, I mean, he can switch out eventually, so I'm not gonna be able to beat him in time because he can heal, but I can at least Toxic that and get some good damage on that and really pressure that Cress a good amount, which is nice. He could have Calm Mind and could start to pressure me, but I can take like 1 or 2 hits, or I can take a hit from like a boosted Cress till he has at least I think he needs to go +2 or +3 to 2-kill me. Like with Psychic, I'm not certain. I forget the calc, but he's gonna need some fair amount of boost to 2-kill me. So Whirlpool's kind of nice just to chip that down, but it's really nice for Skarm, as this will allow me to either pressure the Skarm to roost so I can Earth Power and spam that and potentially knock him out, or just Whirlpool and So trap him in, and then pressure him by maybe going for Earth Power to where he can't roost, so I can keep him low, which is really nice. And he can spam hazards, but that is okay because I'm gonna go in kind of weird order, but that's okay because I make a Pidgeot here, which does have defog. So originally I did not have this Pidgeot on this team. I had Virizion, so another grounded mon and no defog. So that was really scary because hazard stack from either Gren or from Skarmory could have been terrifying. But the super nice Pidgeot is it can take on the Skarmory decently well. Brave still does a good chunk, but if he's no investment, Brave does not 2KO me, which is great. I can pressure him with a Heat Wave, which does a lot. Even do Spit F, I 2KO, and if he's Fizz F, I have a very small chance, but still a chance to OHKO, and if there are rocks open, it's actually a very good chance to OHKO, so Heat Wave is scary. Hurricane's very easy to spam versus his team. Now he's only got Jolteon and Skarmory as his resistances, and Skarm is weak to Heat Wave, so Skarm's not a great answer. And then Jolteon doesn't have a great matchup. It's nice for Pidgeot, but outside of Pidgeot, I have Zygarde, I have Gastron, I have Crook, I have 3 ground types, so Volt Switching is going to be difficult versus my team. I also have Virizion, so it makes hidden powers on Jolteon very difficult, so I do have a lot of things to pressure Jolteon, which is nice. I am max speed on this Pidgeot, which is interesting because I'm not creeping anything specific, but if Gren wants to creep something slower than Pidgeot, or predicting me to creep like the next lowest thing like Terrakion or something, if he doesn't run max speed Gren, then I can actually pick him off and outspeed him, which is great. So the max speed on Pidgeot is just to make sure he's staying honest with his creeps and pressure him, and make sure that he's not trying to get a little bit too aggressive, really, and make sure he's not getting. Make sure he's creeping what he should be, and if he's not, he will get punished for that, which is great. Just Hurricane Heat Wave does the job there. It's an awesome set. So I'll go into Zygarde. Sure, I don't really know what order. I guess I'll go Zygarde then back through the order. So Zygarde is just Life Orb offensive. Pretty simple Zygarde. Works well with a later member on my team, which I will get to next. But E-Speed, Arrows, Crunch, EQ does the job. I could carry Outrage, but it does have Storm, which does kind of pressure that, and does also have Primarina, which I don't want to come in for free. And I have EQ and Arrows because EQ is really nice to spam and really easy to click if Crest or Skarm aren't there. But I can get off more damage on things like Primarina, things like Donphan. So it's nice having Earthquake there for that. And Arrows can bring the Crest or the Skarm to the ground. Arrows is investment with Click versus Crest because they do Crunch. Crunch is great for that Crest, so I can do a good chunk to that. Still don't quite 2KO, and I'm not running my classic Pain Split Zygarde. He could run Ice Beam, so, if he does, then Pain Split won't really work there, and also I didn't really have a move slot for it, and that's not really about I want to deal with Zygarde, and I do have a way of actually giving it some boosts, which I'll go into now. So, also Speed's just next last mod for the Terrakion there. We have my Mew here, pretty interesting Mew set. Also, real quick, just the little bit of Spit F and Pidgeot was so I can live a Life Orb Ice Beam from Gren from full. So, just want to clarify that because I realized I forgot to mention that. But let's go into this Mew. So this is a weird Mew set, but I love it. So Leech Life, Thunder Punch, Sword Dance, and Baton Pass. So this is a great Mew set versus his team. It is really nice and can definitely catch him off guard. So Leech Life, Thunder Punch basically hits what it needed to. I can set up and pressure his main walls like Cresselia and Skarmory, which are really threatening to the rest of my team. I can still pressure a lot of his other mons and get off good damage versus a lot of things. Like Terrakion, I can't really hit too hard, but he's not gonna want to bring in Terrakion. At least not hard switch it in. Maybe bring it in after he sacks up something, then Terrakion can go for a Z move and pressure me. But Terrakion can take my moves pretty well. +2 Thunder Punch does still do a good do a good chunk. Like I think it does around half, so a fair amount. Sorry, that's my Discord, not yours. If you're watching and have Discord. But Sword Dance is really nice. Is I can set up with Mew, and then I can either do damage with Mew or just pass in something else, or do both. Honestly, I can pass into my Zygarde or my Arcanine. Those are the main 2 threats. Also, possibly my Wigglytuff in the back. That is possible. I'll get into that in a bit. That'd be fun if I do that. But it's mainly to pass into my Zygarde and Arcanine and possibly just win. Or Mew can even just win itself if he doesn't have the proper ways to pressure this. Colbur is there, so that Gren is not a proper check to me. Or not a super easy check to me. If I'm low enough, Dark Pulse still kills. If he knocks off my item with Donphan or something, he'll still kill. But a Colbur is just nice. That way I don't just easily get checked by the Gren. The defense there, so the defense is so I can live 2 Stone Edges from max attack Jolly Drakion. So if he's Scarf Drakion, this can be switching to that and take hits. He could be Z move Drakion, and I probably won't know if he's Z Crystal or Scarf till I get confirmation and see either he outspeeds Pidgeot or like he goes for his Continental Crush probably, or maybe even it could be the Z fighting move too. So that either are possible. So I probably won't know till I see which is which, but I'm okay with either, as if he is Scarfed, Mew can take it better, and so can Gastrodon. And if he's not Scarfed, if he's Z move, then Pidgeot can outspeed it, Zygarde can outspeed it, which is great. Also, my Arcanine is Scarfed, which I'll get into now, and that outspeeds it too. Also, real quick, the attack on Mew is so I can, did I write this in? I did not write it here on my thing. The attack is so I can 2KO a max Fizz Def Scarm if I'm at +2, and then the speed is just a little bit, but it's enough so I can outspeed a max speed Timid Primarina. Also gives me speed to outspeed a Cresselia that's creeping a max speed Adamant Metagross. So, more Discord things, so sorry about that. But my Scarfed Arcanine is a really cool set this week, as this could also be win con if I can pass some boosts into it. And this could be really scary versus his team. It kind of comes down to what he brings. Like, if he brings more of his water types, like if he does bring both of his waters and Cress, then this might not have a super easy time spamming Blitz in the late game. So my Discord is going off. Joel's saying a lot of things. He's just being a good commissioner. But I might not be able to spam Blitz super freely last game, or super freely. My mind's kind of flustered because I'm reading Joel's things. Might not be able to spam it super freely late game. I'm gonna mute my computer there. I might not be able to spam it super freely late game because if he's got a lot of fire resistances around. Also the Dragon there could be big. Toxic's nice, just allow me to Toxic an incoming Cress or Primarina or Donphan or maybe even Drakion. CC is nice, so I can maybe catch a non-Scarf Drakion off guard or a non-Scarf Gran off guard, which is great. Also, CC could be really easy to spam late game, like if Cress is gone or really low, and then there's no Decidueye. And also, like if Venomoth's not there, or really low, then I can spam Close Combat pretty freely late game, and it could be the Primarina. I need the Prim really low too. But still, outside of those 4 Mons, which I don't really expect, Venomoth could come, but it's kind of that Mon that I want to say won't come, because if it does come, it's scary. But it could come, be scary with Quiver Dance. He's brought sets like that in the past, but if it does come, I can outspeed it. If he's at +1 with my Arcanine, that's what I'm creeping there with my speed. So Arcanine's just a nice check to that. And if he has multiple boosts, I can E-speed with this, as well as E-speed with Zygarde. So I do have ways around that Venomoth. But I could really spam late game with Blitz or CC. And if I have some boosts in this, if I'm at +2 or +4, then this could be a really big threat late game. It could just clean up if it's not Scarf Terrakion. And if it is, then my defensive mons can take hits from that better. So I really like this set, as it can hopefully pick him off, and he won't be expecting that. So last but not least, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Wigglytuff. I think David is one of those people that will just kind of ignore a mon like Wigglytuff and just say, yeah, no, it's definitely not coming. And he'll probably confidently say that in his team builder. But Wigglytuff is coming, and he'll probably be surprised. But Wigglytuff is pretty cool. It's probably not the win con this week, although I could pass a Swords Dance into it, or a couple Swords Dances. But Wigglytuff is a nice mon. It's a Grand Check. That's basically what I have for it. It's a good Grand Check, and I think it's an even better Grand Check because I really don't expect him to carry Gunk Shot. Because, as I said earlier, I don't think he's gonna expect Wigglytuff. He's not gonna go out of his way to carry coverage for Wigglytuff. Now, Gunk Shot does hit Virizion pretty hard, especially because Virizion's Speed F is naturally so high. So Ice Beam, Gunk Shot might do more than Ice Beam, depending on how invested he is and how invested my Virizion would be. But still, outside of that, I think he'll still want Ice Beams. I don't think he wants Gunk Shot for Virizion just because it's not useful. I think Ice Beam more useful overall. So also it's Pidgeot, so I think Ice Beam's better. So I don't think he'll be able to carry Gunk Shot for Wigglytuff. So Wigglytuff can take 2 Hydros from a Life Orb Gren that is with my leftovers, which is great. I can chew hits from. I can chew and special hit. That is. I can take a lot of special hits from Gren. I have the Wish and the Protect to allow me to heal and stay healthy. I can also pass in stuff like my Mew, which does not have Roost or anything, or into my Pidgeot, which also does not have Roost, or into Arcanine, which is not a Morning Sun. So I can pass into really any of these other mons and try to keep them healthy. Rocks are nice on this, so a Mew doesn't have to carry them, and I can set up rocks and really pressure stuff like Venomoth, and even still get a nice 12% versus Jolteon, Gren, Kang, Cress, Scarm, a lot of his stuff. So it's just a nice mon here. I have Play Ralph over like Dazzling Gleam and being special, just because if I can pass a Swords Dance into this, which I could late game, that'd be possible. That'd be pretty nice. Also, I do have the chance to get an attack drop, which could be helpful. And I mean, it didn't really matter which way I went, physical or specialized. Felt like physical I could benefit more from because of a potential Swords Dance pass. So, you know, it could be nice. And Wigglytuff, hopefully, can do something in this game. Can hopefully be a nice Gren check, or it can even pivot into a Primarina. As I can take two. I can take 2 Moonblasts from a Specs Prim if I protect after I switch in, so I don't get lefty. So I can take the second Moonblast, and then I can Wish Stall it, and if I can like get off a Toxic versus it with Arcanine or Gastron as it tries to come in, then that's really nice. So I feel like this is a pretty nice team. It's pretty cohesive, I think. And if Mew can just pass off some Swords Dances, then I think I definitely have a shot at winning this game. So if Mew can SD itself and be a big threat, or pass and do Zygarde or Arcanine, really, maybe Wigglytuff too, but probably one of the first 2. So hopefully we can get the dub here, and I'll move on to the battle in just a second. Alright guys, so I'm back with the battle, as you can see here. So I'm bringing these 6 that I just went over, including 3 pretty nice pink Mons, being Wigglytuff, Mew, and Gastro. And I didn't really notice the colors of them till just now, and it's pretty nice. I have 3 pretty fat pink things, and then my offensive Mons are not pink, so that's cool. So David brings the Primarina, the Gren, the Cress, Donphan, Tracheon, and the Decidueye. So no Mega Kang, which is cool, good for me, because I didn't have the best answers to it. I did my Rocky on Gastro, but with him not having Kang, then I'm fine with that, because then that means I can bring my Gastron out earlier and I'm not as pressured to keep it around for Kang, and I can use it to help me like Toxic Primarina and maybe get off a Toxic first Decidueye or Cress, and it can help me versus Tracheon and just be better overall versus the rest of his team and not be as solely pressured by dealing with that Kang. So I'm really glad to not see Kang, actually. No Jolteon, which was a little bit surprising just because of Pidgeot, and like the rest of my team kind of dealt with Jolteon, so I'm not surprised to not see it, but I don't know. I'm kind of glad to not see it, just because it does hinder Pidgeot, and I can actually just spam Hurricane because his Flying Resist is not here. Now Cress pretty much resists everything that's not Dark, Ghost, or Bug, because it is fat, but still Hurricane can be pretty nice to click in this game. So I'm just going to lead with Gastron. I think it's a pretty safe lead, barring him leading with Decidueye, which I don't think he will do, because I could have led with Pidgeot. So, and I think Pidgeot was a very viable lead too, so I really did not expect him to lead with the Decidueye. So I'm going to lead Gastron as he does lead Primarina, goes for Moonblast. That is a Specs Primarina if I've ever seen one. It's probably timid based on the roll. If he was modest, that could have still been, it could have still been modest if he got like a min roll there, a very, very low roll. But it's probably timid then, but not necessarily. It doesn't really matter too much, as my Mew can still speed a timid Prim, so that's nice. So I go for the Toxic here, just chipping down. So I do want to keep Gastro around, because I can still get off Rocky Helmet damage versus Tracheon, maybe get off a Recover versus Cress, or maybe Donphan if I can scare him out. So I'm going to go with my Wigglytuff, which can take a Moonblast. And it can take 2 if I protect the following turn, so I'm just going to go right into Wigglytuff as he goes for Moonblast. Doesn't do too much, which shows that he is timid. It does confirm that, so that's nice. I'm going to click Protect there, just because it was a roll to kill, and I didn't want to risk it, as he does go hard to Rackdown, which is scary for me, but I'm just going to go into my Gastro, sack that off. Maybe he blows the Z move now. He doesn't. I did not expect him to, just because he could see that I was split F from the damage from Prim to Wigglytuff, so he probably knew that he could kill with CC either way, so he did not need to blow the Z move, but maybe he thought I could go hard on Mew, so it's possible, but I doubted it. So I do go into Gastro, sack that off, as I do get off some nice Rocky Helmet damage, which could be good, as this thing is now possibly in range of CC from Arcanine, as from full it does not kill, but with that Rocky Helmet damage, I have a roll that is in my favor to kill, so I'm not going to bring an Arcanine immediately, because it does yell Scarf, and I'm not certain he isn't Scarfed. I mean, I can still live with CC because it's not super effective. It's not Stone Edge, but I'm just going to bring my Pidgeot here, as if he is Scarfed, I can take the CC. As I fully expect him to switch, because he does not want to stay in and let that thing die to a Hurricane, so I'm going to go after Work Up on the switch, as now I go for Hurricane, and I get a crit, which kind of sucks. This investment on him is kind of weird. I'm not certain on that roll. Looks like he's Calm and potentially max HP with like some Spadef, not really certain. It turns out I actually did have some speed, which we'll see in a moment. I did offer to restart, because that crit could be kind of big, but he he did not accept it because he said he would not have offered it himself if he was in that position. So that was fair and very, very respectful on his end to not be one-sided in terms of accepting restart. So that is fair. So all good. I'm just gonna click Hurricane again because I'm not really certain on his spread, so I might be able to kill the Hurricane right here. I don't think I can, but maybe I get a high enough roll. Maybe he doesn't have as much BDF as I think I could kill. So I go for another Cane, not a workup, as he does live. And I do confuse, which I felt bad about, but he did not hit himself, thankfully. I would have felt really bad if he hit himself, because then the crit, the confusion, and he hit himself, that's a lot of events that need to happen for that crest to die there. Thankfully, it didn't. So I don't have to feel like a terrible person today. So I'm just going to go right in my Mew. I could try to work up and play this game here, but he can call mind, and I mean, if I get another crit eventually, I could beat him, but I don't want to rely on that. So I'm just going to hard my Mew as he did Moonlight and outsped me, so that is big. So he outsped me, which means he's got a lot of speed because he's not quite timid, or I don't think he was. I think he was calm, but had like, he was, I think he did have to be timid, actually. Crest? No, he doesn't. I'm trying to think. No, he didn't. He didn't have to be timid because Crest is at 85 speed and needs. I think he needed like almost 200 speed or something around there to outspeed my Mew. I don't think he needed to be timid. Maybe he did. I forget exactly. During the game, I was calculating this and was looking at numbers and did a better job of knowing this. But he did need a lot of speed on his Crest to outspeed my Mew. And I only had 20 speed on this Mew, so I'm not a super fast Mew, but he still needed a lot of speed because I did not expect him to have that much speed, and he did. So that is interesting. But that does make some sense because he did not outspeed this Mew and not get taunted. So there's definitely a lot of logic there. So I do go for Leech Life as in comes the Donphan, and that does a good chunk, and he has Lefty. So good to note. So here, pretty interesting situation for me. So I could just click Leech Life again, got off a good 36, maybe 40%. Yeah, it was a roll there for the damage there. And possibly 2 KO. But I don't want to get Toxic or he can go for Earthquake and get super low. Now, he could have also set up Rocks or something, and I do actually just go hard on my Pidgeot right here. In hindsight, I think I should have just stayed in. He could have also knocked off my Colbert, which would have been annoying. That was also another potential play I was kind of scared of. So, I mean, that was a reasonable thing to be scared of there, and then to make the play in a Pidgeot. So, you know, that wasn't a bad play to go into Pidgeot there, and I do actually double back on a Mew, predicting him to go into Crest, which he does, so that's great for me. So, I'm just going to click Leech Type right here, get off some damage on the Decidueye. I kind of wish I stayed in though versus Donphan, because I could have got off damage on it, and then it was kind of annoying later in the game, and I'll go over that, you know, as that comes up. So I kind of wish I stayed in, as Mew could still Leech Life and got back more health, even after he damaged me, and I could have just Wish Passed from Wigglytuff 2 back into Mew and try to get some health back that way. But it is what it is, as, you know, I still, Mew's healthy, Mew's not poisoned or anything, so I'm okay with that, and I didn't lose anything because my Pidgeot was able to switch in for free in that Earthquake, so it definitely wasn't a bad play, just maybe could have made a better play, but it's all good. So in comes the Owl. I'm just going to go hard on my Arcanine. He could Toxic or U-turn or something, which I'm kind of hoping he doesn't, but he does U-turn, so smart play on his end. So he's going to bring in his Terrakion. So now he's not expecting me to be Scarfed, so I don't think him bringing in Terrakion really yells that he is Scarfed. So I know this is kind of risky, but I am okay if I do lose Arcanine right here, because it's not that helpful this game. Like, he does have 3 fire, yeah, three resistances to fire, so not great to spam Blitz. Also has a Crest and a Donphan, so really, Blitz is not a great move to spam late game. I mean, if I get enough boosts, it can be, but still, he's got a lot of mounts and can take a Blitz pretty comfortably, and even close combat isn't that great, because he does have Crest, Primarina, and the Owl is immune to CC, so not too likely to get a late game sweep with my Scarf Arcanine, whatever. So I'm okay if I need a Rescuer to get some knowledge on him, because he could be Scarf, and if he is Scarf, I will find that out here. But I'm just gonna go for CC, and it's a roll in my favor to knock him out, so I'm gonna go for CC. I outspeed him, so he's not Scarfed, and sorry, I do pick him off, so he's a dead Terrakion. No more Terrakion. That is great for me. So I did get the roll. It was in my favor, so it wasn't hacked or anything, but I'm just going to stay in and sack off my Arcanines. I don't have a great switch into this Primarina. I could try to go into my Wigglytuff, but if he goes for Hydro, I don't live. I think maybe I had a small chance to live, but most likely he's going to knock me out with Hydro, so you know, not the best play to go into Wigglytuff and sack that off, because I do want that around to help me with that Gren late game, so I'm just going to sack on my Arcanine. I really don't need it, as I said. It doesn't do that much this game. It would be nice to get off a Toxic versus Crest or Donphan, and if this does go down, then I have lost both my Toxic Mons, so that is kind of bad, but I think it's in my best interest just to sack off the Doggo here, as CC does a chunk, showing he's kind of bulky, but not too bulky. So in comes Zygarde, which can knock out with an Arrows, so I go for that, as he does go into the Owl. So here I thought he was going to try to pivot into his Donphan to take a Crunch and not take as much as he would have from the Arrows, and also make me take more Life Orb damage. So I really thought going into the Donphan was his best play here. So I went for Earthquake, predicting that. A little bit over aggressive. I could have clicked Crunch and knocked out the Decidueye. I could have, but I mean, I had good reasoning for my play, and Earthquake does like double as much to Donphan as it does like twice as much to Donphan as Crunch would have. So, and weakening down this Donphan is really big for my Mew late game, and also big to maybe pass a Sword Dance for my Mew into this, or just for Mew to win itself late game. So, you know, I think that was still a reasonable play, and I don't think it was a bad play at all. I really thought he was just trying to pivot around, trying to scout, and I would have felt kind of bad and felt I would have probably regretted my play more if I did click Crunch as he did just go into Donphan. So I was like, oh, I could have clicked Earthquake, got enough more damage. Granted, I'm still doing a fair chunk with Crunch. I mean, it's like 20%, but then lefties and something like 14, and I take Life Orb. So, I'm just gonna sack off Zygarde, which is kind of interesting because Zygarde could be a win con late game. If I get a +2, then I could just win. If I have the proper damage on Crest and on Donphan. And then I need a little bit of damage on Grand, like either one Life Orb hit or one hit from Stealth Rocks, because E-Speed from +2 does like 90 minimum. So, you know, this could be a win con late game, but I think I need damage on Donphan, because I think Mew can be a win con, and I just need damage on this, as I'm just going to go for Arrows. I do a good chunk. I could have gone for EQ, but he might have just tried to pivot around and gone into Crest, so I just want to make the safe play. As he goes for Rock, so I can get off another hit with Zygarde if I wanted to. But I do want to keep Zygarde around, as I could Earthquake, but that was a roll to go. I think I needed like a max roll to kill Donphan, and I didn't think I was going to get that. So I just went into Mew and made a safe play, which could take the Earthquake and could Leech Life, get back some health. As he does go into the Owl, so I go for Leech Life, which should be able to kill, and it does. So Mew's back at full now, which is great, and we're tied at 4-4. So in comes Prim, and I have Thunder Punch. It just knocks him out. So he was not expecting me to have the coverage for Prim, as if, you know, really anything but Thunder Punch, he would have been able to live. So he was not expecting me to have Thunder Punch, but he did, and I was able to outspeed and just pick him off. So that was really good for me. So in comes Donphan, and here I think it's got hard Pidgeot. Yeah, I do. He just goes for another Earthquake, so twice now I've brought in Pidgeot hard on the Earthquake, which is great. So here I make a kind of ballsy play, because he could have had Stone Edge, but I just click Work Up, thinking he's got to keep that Donphan around. So I click Work Up, and then I go for Hurricane, do a good chunk to the Crest. So here we have an interesting situation. So, Ice Beam put me at 29%, so I can still switch it on Rocks, I guess, if I need to. But I'm going to go for Work Up again, anticipating him living the Hurricane and then going for a Moonlight. Now, he could have just tried a Moonlight spam and then try to get kind of healthy. In hindsight, I really think Hurricane was my better play, because then I could have left him low, and if he does just attack, which he does, he goes for Psyshock though, which I actually live on 1, and then I can Hurricane and be at +2 to knock him out the following turn. So in comes Grand, which I might be able to outspeed because I'm max speed timid, but he does go for Shuriken. Now he was actually max speed timid either way, so he could have outsped me. But he just wanted to make sure that he could knock me out, and if I had quick attack, and he could still out-prioritize me. So that's smart on his end there. I kind of think I really should have just Hurricaned on the Crest instead of working up again, because I could have left it low, and then, like, even if he did Moonlight, I could just spam Hurricane, and then if I saw he's Moonlighting a bunch, I could eventually work up if I wanted to. Other than he would maybe predict that, like Ice Beam or something. Other than, like, still, if I was spamming Hurricane the whole time, then he can knock me out, but he'll be left very low, and in range of my Zygarde or Mew, or yeah, so that would be fine. But that's okay with me, so I'm just gonna sack off Pidgeot, and then I'm gonna bring in my Wigglytuff, which can take any hit. Like, cannot take a Hydro from full here, or from the range I'm at right now, if he just goes for Hydro and hits. But I don't think he's gonna want to do that. I think he's gonna just go right into Donphan. And I don't wanna protect and give him a free switch, so I just go right for the Wish. I throw that up, as I cannot live the Earthquake, so I'm gonna have to protect right now, as he's gonna get some more lefties, which is annoying. But I'm going to Just go for a player off the following turn. Just get off some damage on Donphan. Try to get this thing as low as I can, which is not very low because player off doesn't do much. Dazzling Gleam would have done more there. Whatever. But if I had Dazzle, that is, but I don't. So EQ does 2 kill me, which is fine. So it's sad to see my good pal Wookly Tough go down. But I'm gonna bring in my Zygarde here, and if he's not Ice Shard, I can get off the damage I need, and then this will go down to Mew, and then at Mew's Colbur, and I can live it from Gren to knock it out. So if it's not Ice Shard, I can win this game, and if it is Ice Shard, then this is gonna be healthy enough. He can still probably beat Mew on its own. If not, though, then he'll still put me low enough to where I lose to Gren. So basically it comes down to if he does have Ice Shard or if he doesn't, and I'm just going to go for EQ, do as much as I can. As he did not have Ice Shard, so, or didn't go for it, and did not have it. I mean, if he had it, he would have gone for it, so. I go for EQ, and I do a lot, put it in, well, not in range of 1 Leech Life to knock him out, but 2 to knock him out. So, down goes Zygarde, as you saw, so in comes Mew, and I made a pretty bad misplay right here. I really should click Sword Sense. I had no reason not to. I can, at +2, I knock him out with a Leech Life, and then I'm guaranteed to knock out the Gren. I calculated this earlier in the game, but I forgot to recalculate at this moment. So a Leech Life to that Gren, if he has no bulk, which he probably has very little or none, because he's going to outspeed that Pidgeot and be max speed. So Leech Life does 75 to like 91 to that Gren. Now Gren's at 91 right now, but he's going to go for a hit and take Life Orb damage from it. So he'll be at around 81. So then the Leech Life, the roll's in my favor to kill. Now, I didn't calc how much Leech Life did to Gren until after I went for the first Leech Life on Donphan. So I go for Leech Life, do a chunk, and I know I wasn't going to kill there. I was not expecting to, and I wasn't going to. But I really should have Sword Stance because, I mean, I Leech Life, I'm back at 60. And well, at that point, after the first Leech Life, I could not Sword Dance again, because if I do, then I Sword Dance and he goes for EQ, I'm down, I'm at like, I'm very low, I'm on like 10 or 15%, and then I Leech Life, I get back very, very little, and then still Gren can pick me off with the Dark Pulse, even through my Colbur, so I would not win that way. So I would have needed to Sword Dance the first time, but I didn't, so at that point I just had to keep clicking Leech Life. So in comes the Gren, and as long as he doesn't flinch me, and if I get the roll, I can win. So it goes for Dark Pulse. I live. Don't get flinched. Leech Life. Gets a roll. I knock him out, and we win this 1-0. Very close. Closer than it should have been, because I really should have Sword Dance. I mean, he still could have flinched me. He had the 30% chance to flinch, which is more than I would like it to be. But he did not get that flinch, which is great, and we win this in a very, very close 1-0. So, good game to David. He played pretty well and had a pretty cute and a really nice team there. It was nice, and I'm really glad I was able to win this game. Just get back some confidence, not get motivation back. I did have motivation, but just getting confidence back. I needed confidence after a few rough losses. So I've noticed a pattern though in this season. So I've gone win, lose, 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 win, lose, lose, lose. So I realized that pattern prior to this game. So in that regard, I kind of expected to win this game, and I did. So the pattern did continue. But if it keeps up, then that means I would lose next week. So that would be bad. But next week I do play Cheese, coach of the Phoenix Sunkerns, or Sunkern. I don't know if it's plural or not. But that should be a fun game. Cheese is a good pal. I've never battled him, but in the past, so that'll be exciting. Cheese is a really nice guy, so I'm excited for that game, and that should be a good one. If I win that game, I have I think a good chance, maybe very good chance of not getting relegated. If I lose that game, I have a very high, I think even guaranteed chance, possibly, of getting relegated. So, yikes. My differential is still atrocious because I'm 3 and 6, and this was only 1-0, so I'm minus 16. So yikes. But a win's a win. I'll take it. Mew picked up 4 kills this game, which is great. Mew is now leading my team in kills and still has a negative differential, as it is 6 kills with 7 deaths. So yikes. This is the first game Mew did not die actually. Or wait, no, Mew did not die in week 1. So or week 5. Week 5 he did die because my little one. Yeah, so week 1 it did not die. But either way, we did win, and I'm excited. So next week we play Cheese. Hopefully I can get a winning streak going to finish off the season, and that would be great. My chances at playoffs are now done because Cheese has a good enough differential that even if I 6-0 him and we're both 4 and 6, he still has a better differential than me by 10 points. So Cheese is like 4 and 5 plus 6. I'm 3 and 6 minus 16. So yikes. This video is kind of going on longer than I want it to be. It's like 33, 34 minutes. Not, like, terribly long, but it should have been shorter, probably. Either way, though, I'll see you guys next week with the Baltimore Braviaries. Peace out.